This year in particular, we're showcasing two collaborations that have been very, very successful.
So tell us about some of the last minute problems that we just dodged, the bullets that maybe some people did not have a glimpse of.
The biggest one.
Ms. Roy Chaudhary's worked for the next IFC starts tomorrow. So
Yes.
And that's something which is come as a bonus to us.
Correct.
I mean, we all were apprehensive, but that's something on a personal level I would want to do it in my company.
Right.
So I think that was number one. Number two is I would want to put it on record that the success is because of three people.
Okay.
Mr.
See, the foundry industry had its base here. And as we heard, that 65%.
I would like to mention one very important thing that
So Westman is a name popular in the East. This interview would be incomplete if we did not have Mr. Anil Vasvani on the show.
Thank you. Pleasure to
Right.
be with you.
So successful event, right?
Tremendously.
In Kolkata.
Tremendously.
So talk a little bit about the new inventions that you brought into IFX and IFC for this year.
Right. This year in particular, we're showcasing two collaborations that have been very, very successful. We brought them in from GIFA. They met us in GIFA in 2023. We joined hands, and it's about a year, less than a year, I would say. We've already installed. We have a Swedish partner called Portec AB, and with them we're designing these laser-guided auto pouring systems for hot metal. We've already built two, installed two, and I think this year we're going to sell at least 10 or 15 more. It's an easy win because it's all about payback period. It's not the cost of the machine, it's the benefit that you get, and it's the question of recovery on investment. Highly value added, tremendously sophisticated, and immensely impactful. The other thing that we've done is we have designed with a Brazilian partner. We've designed these core shop solutions. So we have a core mixer which is now made fully in India.
Right.
We've already sold a few of them to Electrosteel and to a few other places, and it's tremendous that we are able to now build these machines in India. There's a huge market for them, so we're very excited about it. We're showing that machine in our stall, in fact.
Right. So what are the other inventions that you could see at IFX that maybe you would consider like new technologies?
Well, of course, we've got that robotics demo that we had this year, and this is something that is, I think it's the first time we're showing this in the eastern region. At least it's common in other regions, but we had the initiative of one of our IIF members, and it's become one of the highlights of the show. I think we've had a special symposium only on robotics and applications of robotics. It's been tremendously value added. There's a lot of software simulations that also are benefiting people, so that's again something we want to showcase. We just finished a really interesting Young Engineers Forum where we've had a tremendous outreach to students, and this is going to be the backbone of the industry.
Right,
you need
right.
young engineers to actually choose the foundry industry as a profession.
Right.
And to make them see that, you have to have these forums where they can understand what foundries are all about, that it's an attractive career option, that foundries are no longer the older impression that people had of foundries.
Correct.
These are now modern, clean, professional places to work, and there's always an opportunity for young, smart students to make their careers in it.
And also back to Mr. Baba Kalyani's talk, we need engineers to stay in India, right?
I think the most tremendous value add that we could ever have had, to have Mr. Baba Kalyani be here, not only for the inaugural session, but that whole fireside chat where he shared some of the most brilliant ideas that tremendously inspiring. As a member sitting on stage, I can imagine what it was like. As people in the audience, it would have been outstanding. It's all about, the main message I think was not just about making components, but going into making your complete product.
Right.
And this is the message for India in general, not just to become a component supplier or an IT back office typist. Why can't you design your own IT products? Why can't you make your own final end product solutions, not just the parts that go into them? It's a vision whose time has come, and I think that this is the way India has to proceed in the future.
Right. To put in his words, not to be the factory of the world.
Not to be the factory of the
Right.
world. You go beyond that.
Right.
So that's I think all these takeaways are going to have really added a lot of value to anybody who has come to the show, to the Indian Foundry Congress this year in the East, and also to IFEX. I think it's gonna set a new benchmark, not just for ourselves in the region, but I think for the rest of the regions in India and for IIF as a whole. That this is something that it's gonna raise the bar for IIF as a whole, and that's wonderful, I think.
Right. So thank you, Mr. Vasvani.
It's a pleasure. Thank you
Right.
very much.
And congratulations again on a successful event.
Thank you so much.
We are now sitting with the co-chairman for IFC 2025,
I
right?
am, yeah.
Mr. Pradeep. He's a bit tired because for 3 days he's been running all over the place, In fact, in every hall, he's present. I don't know how he manages to do it.
I've got my
So-
agents all around.
So tell us, is this some sort of teleportation, or are you able to move more quickly than normal people? What is it like?
Planning this Indian Foundry Congress was not an easy task,
Correct.
given that it was coming after 8 years, and the kind of challenges we've seen in the past and the benchmarking which has been given by the other regions, we had to come up to the terms.
Correct.
Thanks to Vijay, our chairman, he agreed to take as a chairman of IFC. So most of the planning was done between V4 actually.
Right.
Myself, Chairman Vijay, then Chairman IFEX, Mr. Ravi Sehgal, and Anil Vasvani, the co-chair IFEX.
Right.
So most of the planning was done well before time. That is what we can see as the success of it.
Correct. Correct. So tell us about some of the last minute problems that we just dodged. The bullets that maybe some people did not have a glimpse of, but you managed to handle.
So
just,
the biggest one, though it happened in the month of October, we had our original dates on 7th, 8th and 9th of February.
Correct.
Suddenly the government of West Bengal, because the government decided to have the BGPS done, and it's in our contract that if the government wants the venue, we have to leave the venue.
Correct.
So that we had about 21 sleepless nights, because the moment government informed us about the change they needed,
Correct.
it was the last day before the pujas.
Okay.
And the offices would open only after 21 days.
Right.
So we were lurching in the dark. We had already taken so many bookings of the exhibition.
Right.
We have already done all the plannings for 7th, 8th and 9th. We were not sure whether the exhibition would happen also.
Right. And
But
this
all
was
other
not,
dates were also already booked.
Right.
Finally, thanks to WBIDC, MD chairman over there, Vandana Yadavji, she intervened. Our chairman had a good relationship with them. So she understood our problem, accommodated us, ensured that it was just a change of 2 days, so we could do it on the 9th, 10th and 11th.
Correct.
If you ask me, nothing would have been worse than that. So that was the biggest challenge we faced.
Right. And to come back from such a setback just 4 months before the event, that was
Actually, I'll add one more thing over there. What had happened was that those 21 days, whatever preparation we had to do, since we were not sure if the exhibition would happen also,
right.
so we had to put everything on pause.
Right.
So
right.
Those 21 days we were actually not doing anything.
Completely time lost.
Yes.
Right.
So that brought all the efforts to January and February, some pressure
Correct.
over there, yes.
But you still managed to come through. I think
Yes,
a
yes.
lot of people that we have on camera have said that this is the best IFX they've attended, if not the best IFX in the East at least. So that's really something that we have on record.
I'll give you with some numbers. I'll feed you with some numbers.
Right.
The last physical IFC IFEX we had in Calcutta was 2017. I think Ravi Sehgal was the chairman, and I think Anil Vasvani was the president that time, right? So that was our last IFC we had physical one over
Right.
here. There were about 450 delegates.
Right.
There were hardly 3,800 to 4,000 square meters of space being sold.
Correct.
So this time we had taken a challenge that we would be selling both these halls, and that was coming to about 8,500. Thankfully, about a week back, the EO was asking for more space. We had sold 100%.
Wow.
And as far as the delegates are concerned, we have already crossed that 1100 mark.
Right.
So coming from 450 to 1100, from 4,000 to 8,500, that's a remarkable achievement by the whole team. It's
Right.
not one day, one person's work. And more so that we are actually riding on the horse of China Plus advantage, what we can see. With the government spending on railways, Eastern region has been known for railway castings and all.
Correct.
So that has also helped us a lot. So there's a lot of growth happening in the Eastern region, and this is the sense you get from here.
Right. Right. So, to wrap up, you guys have set the bar pretty high for us from the Western region next year, right? But we're taking up the challenge, right? I don't know whether we will be able to deliver this kind of response.
That itself is a compliment to us.
But our chairman Namiji seems pretty excited
Yes.
and to take up the challenge head on. He has also shared a few remarks in the hall about how they are, prepared, and also they've learned a lot of things that you all guys have implemented really well. That we are going to.
Some of the first, I would just like to end up by saying some of the first which happened in this
Right.
IFC IFEX was the Vaswani family actually decided to give Nobel Prize kind of they instituted one prize award,
Correct.
and that was gracefully accepted by Baba Kalyani of Bharat Forge.
Correct. Correct.
So that was one of the first, because today Baba Kalyani of Bharat Forge is known for
Correct.
everything he does.
Right.
And the kind of interview he gave us, the kind of addressing and the kind of knowledge sharing he did, that was out of, we all never expected that.
Right.
So that was one of the first time, according to me, because it is the 75th year.
Right.
So that was one. And 3 of our government officials who had come, including one of them, the minister.
Right.
They had come for about 15-20 minutes just thinking that they will have to do some pita cutting and go away.
Correct.
They stayed back.
True.
They really wanted to see it, and they appreciate it like anything.
Correct.
So getting a government support of that kind was also a very good thing for us.
Correct. I'd like to thank you personally for bringing us on. Right,
Yes,
it's
thank
something that we really like to do, and to be a part of this IFC 2025 has been really inspiring for us, including my team as well. So thank you for that personally, for calling me last week.
Ian does a great job. He's a foundryman coming from a foundry family, so that was one of the reasons we put you on board.
Thanks.
And I'm sure going forward you will make all the difference to IF also.
I hope to do so. Thank you. We're now sitting with Mr. Navneet Agarwal, the president of IF for 24-25, right? So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think you must be feeling really proud. Tell us a little bit about what this preparation was the entire year to have a successful event.
So first of all, I am extremely happy. I cannot tell you how joyous I'm feeling that we have had a good IFC and IFEX. We went around the IFEX especially because that's always something, there's always apprehension of people coming and attending an IFEX or taking part as a stall in IFEX, especially in the East. And I am so happy that everyone we met was happy about being here. And not just happy about being here in terms of the size of the exhibition, but the size of the revenue or the potential of business which they have seen. I think that itself, and that gives me more pleasure, because end of the day, the whole function of IIF is to help the members.
Correct.
Help the members for creating business, showing them the potential and the opportunities, and helping them learn.
Right.
And I think this IFC IFEX has been able to do, like earlier ones, has been able to do, and this has become the largest IFC IFEX in East India.
Right.
And and the Eastern Indian foundries and the foundry people, fraternity, has also gained a lot out of this, because for them, they were exposed to people, stalls, putting up stalls from various regions in India, outside India. They were exposed to the delegates,
right,
which is very critical because you learn from each other.
Correct.
And when you have people traveling from various parts of the world, various parts of the country, that's where you start to interact, you start to talk to each other,
Correct.
You understand what they are doing, they understand what you are doing.
Right.
And that's the whole concept of a conference.
Correct.
And we are very happy that we got people. In fact, we were looking at the statistics that all the 4 regions, the delegates we have, more than 1,000 plus, are actually equally distributed between the 4 regions. And
Okay,
that's something
that's
which
really
is
amazing.
come as a bonus to us.
Correct.
I mean, we all were apprehensive, but I think the end result is astonishingly good.
Correct. I think, especially to your point, what IF does extremely well is, segregate the or basically have the IFC and the IFX in different regions alternatively. So that allows that people, connect from eastern to western to southern to northern. So that's something that you all have been able to do very well by bringing the entire western, southern, and northern region to Calcutta,
Yes.
to engage with the delegates from the east. So that's especially a bonus point.
This has been an objective when I took over presidency. One of the objective was to learn within IF.
Correct.
And I think I have been vocal about it in a number of forums in IF that
Right.
we have 4,000 members.
Right.
That means we have 4,000 different experiences, 3,999 plus people to learn from.
Correct.
And when you meet them is only when you learn from. So I think this has been the objective, and I'm as I said, I'm very happy that part of that is resolved in
Right.
this IFC as well.
Right. So also, I'd like you to speak about your chief guest, because that was something that was really remarkable. So why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, I think we were very lucky. I think the whole concept of getting Sri Baba Kalyani here was stemmed from the new award which was instituted this year, Anil Vasvani Founders Leadership Award. And I would like to thank the past presidents, because this award is chosen by the past presidents. And they chose a living legend, which is Sri Baba Kalyani ji. And we were very happy that he agreed to come in and accept the award in person. And I think the ad was that he came in a day early when we were doing our 75th year celebration, which was done in the grandest manner in Calcutta just before the start of the IFC. And we had two opportunities of interacting with him. One is during the celebration on the evening of the 8th, and we had a fireside chat. And I think his candid replies and his talking about his life, talking about his early life, why he came back to India, what he did in his company to take it from where it was in the early 70s to where it is today. I mean,
Right.
they are the largest forging company, and they have forayed into casting now. They have forayed into multiple things. They have made, I mean, it was a learning for us as well that the number of things add on they are doing, which does not normally come out in the media.
Right, right.
And more than that, his journey and his thought process. So we had a very good chat with him on the 8th, and then he was the chief guest. He accepted the award on the 9th morning in the inauguration, and his speech again was truly inspiring.
Right.
I mean, he mentioned about the change of culture. Most people talk about that, okay, I changed the culture. He actually explained how he did it. And I think that's that pearl of wisdom, what he mentioned,
Right.
is something all of us have learned from.
Correct.
And I'm sure, I mean, most of the foundry people, most of the fraternity who were attending that, in fact, we have got requests that people who could not attend for whatever reason, they have been asking for videos to be circulated.
Correct. In fact, I want the video as well. So I'm going to ask you on camera. But I want to ask you, Mr. Navneet, what is your takeaway from his message that he had in the morning? On
I
a
think
personal
for
level.
me, couple of takeaways. I mean, from one is how do we change the culture? So he mentioned that he replaced a lot of semi-skilled and non-skilled people with engineers.
Okay.
I think that's a bold step. I mean,
Okay.
when he did it, it was a bold step. I think today it's not a bold step, but we do not think like that. And I think it was a good push from his end that he made us think like that. And that's something on a personal level, I would want to do it in my company.
Right.
So I think that was number one. Number two is also bringing back the children, bringing back your next generation into the business, how to motivate them, what kind of free hand needs to be given. He was given a free hand, as he mentioned, by his father 50 years ago.
Right.
My son is now completing his education,
Right.
and he hopefully will be back here in the next 2, 3, 4 years.
Right.
So it's a learning on a personal level that, okay, this is what we need to do. We should not falter there.
Correct.
Because when you are on one side, you see a world in one perspective. But when you get to hear about other people, especially successful people who
Correct.
was on the other side, and what he's become from the other side to this side, is what the wisdom counts.
Right.
And I think that was a huge takeaway from it.
Correct.
What
Correct.
should be done. And I think for all the entire foundry ecosystem, fraternity, people, members, because we see a lot of next gen already in the system or about to step in.
Correct.
And I think that will be a huge learning for all of them that, okay, this is what you need to do, this is what you don't need to do.
Correct.
So that was a big takeaway.
Right. Congratulations on your successful.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
I would want to put it on record that the success is because of three people.
Okay.
Mr. Beriwal ji, Ravi Sehgal ji, and Pradeep Madhogaria, and the entire team after that.
Right.
Yeah.
So the men in blue.
Men in blue. Yes.
That's great. So thank you, and look forward to see you probably in the next IFC as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're sitting here with Mr. Ravi Sehgal, who is chairman of IFEX 2025. He and his team have done a remarkable job, having about 266 exhibitors. So that's something that none of us expected, which has come through. So he's just going to talk a little bit about the effort from the back end that was actually required to make this happen.
This is a teamwork,
Right,
I'm just a
right.
part of the team, and
Right.
thankfully everyone made me the chairman.
Right.
But I think it's a collective effort. Mr. Vijay Beriwal, Mr. Pradeep Madhogaria, Navneet Agarwal, and Anil Vasvani, everyone played a role. And we have 266 plus exhibitors.
Right.
See, the idea was East was always considered as a weaker and slower part of the IF, but
Correct.
this IFEX and this Foundry Congress has proved everyone wrong, because we have exhibitors coming from all over the country, as well as a lot of foreign names also present here. And the government has given an involvement, the involvement. The Bengal government was fully involved in this. Andhra government has expressed, and they have presented a booth and stall here. We have some of the best equipments, and the best part was that we wanted automation and robotics to be the theme of technology development in IFEX 2025,
Right.
and that has been very wonderfully represented by IIF tying up with de facto to show actual working robots,
Right.
on what foundry operations they can be used in. And we have had simply stupendous response. The Honorable Minister from Bengal was here, and she said she's never seen an engineering show like this in Bengal.
So
So
large.
you can imagine the kind of credibility that we have got from the government.
Right.
A lot of exhibitors that I spoke to in the last couple of days, they were totally amazed by the size, strength. Not only that, it's the visitors. They were surprised that in the east they got visitors from Punjab, from Coimbatore, from Andhra, from everywhere.
Right.
So it's like East is now attracting a lot of people to look into and make this exhibition really successful. And I'm
Correct.
glad and thankful to the whole team.
Right. This is exactly as you all said in the promotional video. All roads lead east.
Correct.
Right? And that is essentially what has happened.
Correct, absolutely. Because you see, the foundry industry had its base here. And as we heard, that 65% in 1950, 65% of the foundries were in Bengal and Eastern India.
Right.
And then slowly they migrated for various reasons to all rest of India. But again, from a 10% level of the Indian productions, Bengal and Eastern region are planning to take it up to 15% in the next level.
Correct.
And I think that is what this IFEX is going to be a starting point for.
Right, right. So that's really amazing. Mr. Ravi, I'd like to congratulate you again.
Thank you.
Right,
Thank you
on
so
a
much.
successful event, and we look forward to active participation as a National Council member as well for future IFEX.
Absolutely. We are there and we'll be
Right.
working on it.
We're now sitting with Mr. Vijay Beriwal, right?
Hi, Anil.
Chairman of IFC 2025. Correct. So, Mr. Vijay, tell us a little bit about the effort required at the back end, because we see a successful event now, but only you can tell us a little bit about the effort needed from your entire team to make this come through.
When this IFC came to Kolkata, then it was filled with apprehensions that it won't be that successful as it got success in last Noida, Bangalore or Gandhinagar. We in the entire team, the eastern region, we put our best of the effort, and the results are here. When we say a child is not reading, but his result only speaks about his
Correct.
studies.
Correct.
So that is what happened with us. That I feel that not from my mouth, it is not very correct to say, but yes, we excelled.
Correct.
We got 1,000+ delegates, which itself is a benchmark,
Right.
a landmark. Our arrangements, entertainment programs.
Right.
Moreover, the most important thing, the symposiums, because normally in the Congress, we find that the symposiums are not well attended.
Correct.
And we had 9 symposiums, we had couple of tech marts, and I with my team visited most of the symposiums for some time just to take a taste of it, that how it is going and how the delegates are enjoying it. We found it was wonderful. Just for your information, our B2B and vendor development program became a super success. Just now, few minutes back, I got the news that we had more than 400+ meetings
Okay.
in our VDP and B2Bs.
That's really amazing.
And we'll get the right figures
Correct.
at how much inquiries or business was generated
Correct.
with the national and international casting buyers.
Correct. After talking to a few foundrymen yesterday outside the B2B meets, I can confirm what Mr. Beriwal said. There was, I think, a few aluminium foundry people who also managed to grab a lot of business to the tune of almost 30-40% of their revenue right now, just by attending the B2B meetings. So that has been successful, and that's the foundry people speaking. That's the community giving feedback right at the venue. So that's really something great. So, sir, would you like to talk a little bit more about how maybe this is the benchmark for future IFC programs?
Yes, now no more apprehensions in the time to come when it will be 2029. we are very sure that we are going to get much bigger sponsorships, much better symposiums will be there, much a much larger scale of IFC will be there for
Correct.
the foundry fraternity to see. And I would like to mention one very important thing, that government of Andhra Pradesh Economical Development Board, they came with us. Government of West Bengal WBIDC, they came with us. VIPs like Honorable Minister Dr. Shashi Panja, she visited. Principal Secretary MSME Dr. Rajesh Pandey, he visited. Dr. Manoj Pant, Chief Secretary of West Bengal, he visited in our 75th year program. So that itself speaks
Correct.
that how the government is also interested to take this foundry industry on another level.
Correct. Or also even bring it back to Calcutta, as Mr. Sehgal
It
mentioned.
is already brought back. Now it
Right.
is just the shining is taking place.
Correct.
That to give it more shine, much more brighter.
Correct. So thank you again. I'd like to
Thank you.
congratulate you again.
Thank you very much.
We are now sitting with Dr. Abhishikta Roy Chaudhary, right? ED for IF, correct? So we've heard a lot about you. You have a very big responsibility through the year, right? And probably IFX is something that the organizing committee have to maybe step up to the plate once in a lifetime, but you have it every year, right?
Yes.
So tell us about your preparation for the IFC and the IFX every year starting on, and what the Calcutta region chapter have done better in your experience.
Yes, this IFEX and IFC happens in every year and it rotates in the region. So last year it happened in Bangalore in southern region. So that was a very, very successful show. It was around for 15,000 square meter exhibition and 1,500 delegates. So it made our benchmark very high. So we started the preparation for this Kolkata IFC. It also comes after 4 years, but before this it was a COVID year, so it could not happen. And this year it is the physical event is happening after 8 years, so there was a great expectation for this event. And we started the preparation 1 year back. We booked this venue. Government venue, getting government venue is very important.
Right.
And then just before the show, I think just 2 months back, BGBS was suddenly announced, and they said we cannot give you the stall, ma'am, the venue. So we were in a soup. We made the West Bengal government, and they were very, very cooperative. They said, no, we understand. We want you to be there,
Right.
although it is coinciding. So just give us 2 days. We'll complete our show. And they had another show. They requested them to shift their show because ours is an international exhibition.
Correct.
We had all the bookings. So they actually gave us the slot instead of 7, 8, 9. Now it happened 9, 8, 10, 11. And they just vacated the slot, and we did the exhibition.
Right.
So after 1 year of effort, we did the exhibition, and we had not only the exhibition, the Indian Foundry Congress. It had 9 symposium, including all these defense, railway, ductile iron, Har Ghar Jal,
Correct.
and circular economy, sustainability, and we had more than 300 B2B session. And Ministry of MSME, they are also supporting us. They have subsidized our small exhibitors.
Correct.
And also we have the vendor development program with them. So the 11 PSUs participated in that.
Correct. Correct.
And we have the Tech Mart. So it's a
So
big
it has
show.
been
We have the
very good
ladies
show.
program. We
Right.
have entertainment show, award night. So
So it takes a lot of planning to get all these activities completed successfully.
yeah.
Also, I think you mentioned very well that I think Honorable Minister Shashi Panja had come over, and she
Yes.
also mentioned that it was really remarkable that we were able to put the exhibition
Mhm.
together in just 2 days before they had their exhibition.
Yes.
So that's something that the Calcutta team has done really well,
Yeah.
and it's a remarkable achievement. So would you like to say anything about the next IFC happening in Mumbai? Maybe you
Yes.
can invite future delegates to now travel to the west.
Yes. So we are inviting. It is happening in Mumbai next time. So we invite you all to our next IFC IFEX, and it will be another big show. So stay tuned. We will let you know what is happening. Thank you.
Right, Miss Roy Chaudhary's worked for the next IFC starts tomorrow. So
Yes.
so thank you again for your
Thank you
contribution,
so much.
and we really appreciate it. Thank you.